Hello and welcome to Empire of Wargames. This time around we are talking about the Craftworld of Iyanden. We are going to talk about Craftworld attributes, Warlord Trades, relics and more. If you enjoy the content, consider leaving a thumbs up and subscribing, as well as checking the channel's Patreon if you want to support what I do. Alright, let's get into the video. So this video might be a little bit biased because I've been painting and playing Iyanden for years now, so I might be a little bit too lenient on the rules and how good or how bad they are. So yeah, let's check out the crafted attribute. It's Stoic Endurance as we know it. Each time a combat attrition test is taken for a unit with this attribute, add 1 to the combat attrition test. This one is decidedly a meh. Combat attrition test bonuses are just not that great. And each time an attack is allocated to a model with this attribute, if that attack has an armor penetration characteristic of -1 or -2, worsen that armor penetration characteristic of that attack by 1. So for example, AP -2 becomes AP -1. This one is a little bit stronger. This one makes your units, especially your Wraith units, a lot tougher. Their armor save is really good, as we know, and yeah, this one definitely the reason why you take the Craftworld attribute. But all in all, Stoic Endurance compared to Ulthve, which has 4 mediocre kind of Craftworld abilities or army-wide abilities, Stoic Endurance has 1 good one, I think, and 1 really bad one. So yeah, Ulthve is very stacked compared to all the other Craftworlds. I would have wished for just having the additional rule of, having double wounds when it comes to bracketing. I really liked having this one, and it missing here is a little bit annoying. 1, because it's not insanely strong, and 2, because it would have perfectly fitted in there. It would have just made sense. No one would have said, even if that was still available, that Iyanden's Craftworld ability is insane. It would have been very fluffy and very fitting. That's my opinion. So yeah, the Craftworld attribute, I have mixed feeling on this one. The AP reduction is fine, but the combat attrition test bonus is just completely useless. Next up we have the Warlord Trade Enduring Resolve. Each time this Warlord would lose a wound, roll 1d6. On a 5+, that wound is not lost. This one is obviously strong depending on which Warlord you put it on. If you have a Wraith Seer, the big boy, Psyker, a lot of wounds. If this guy has a 5+, feel no pain type save, that's great. If you put this on an Autarch or anything smaller, toughness 3 or something, this is going to be completely useless. You need to put it on something big. So yeah, if you find something big, if the Wraith Seer is still a thing, I don't even know if he's a thing or it is still a thing anymore, but if it's still a thing and if it's an HQ choice and if it can be your Warlord, this might be worth a look. If not, putting this on an Autarch is probably not a good idea. So yeah, this is highly dependent on which units are available. Next up, we have the Relic Cytonome of Iyanden. Iyanden model only. In your command phase, you can select 1 friendly Iyanden Spirit Host unit, so basically Wraiths, within 9 of the bearer. Until the start of your next command phase, add 1 to the dex characteristics of the model, and if the unit is a Wraithguard unit, it gains battle focus. So Wraithguard do not seem to have battle focus, which is sad because, you know, they would have needed it because there are some of the slower units in the codex, and adding 1 attack characteristic to a model obviously benefits the axe Wraith blades. So yeah, the swords still seem to be a little bit on a weaker side. I think this one is okay depending on what your plan is with your Wraithguard. Are you running a full squad or not? And yeah, this one is very dependent. It seems very fluffy. It seems very fitting. I kind of doubt this is going to see competitive play just because it is too dependent, too focused, and all in all too little, but we are going to have to wait and see. Adding 1 attack with the axe though can be very intimidating. I wish the battle focus thing would target Wraithguard and Wraith Blades, assuming Wraith Blades do not have battle focus. So yeah. And last but not least, we have the stratagem Guided Wraith Sight. For 1 CP, use the stratagem in your shooting phase or the fight phase. Select 1 Iyanden Spirit Seer model from your army and 1 friendly Iyanden Spirit Host unit. Until the end of the phase, that Spirit Host unit is considered to be within range of that Spirit Seer model's Spirit Mark ability. Now, this one is almost impossible for me to evaluate because I don't know what Spirit Mark does. If it's anything what I imagine it being, this one is going to be strong just because you can buff a unit of Wraith Guard, Wraith Blades, or a Wraith Lord from across the battlefield, and that is going to be insanely strong. Yeah, we are just going to have to wait and see for the complete data sheet of a Spirit Seer, but I can see this one being stronger. Not an evergreen compared to, for example, the Same Hand Stratagem. But yeah, this one seems decidedly mediocre just from what I expect the new or the old Spirit Mark ability to do. So all in all, Iyanden is decidedly mediocre. They are super middle of the pack. Their Craftworld attribute could have been much more, in my opinion. As I said, double wounds for basically bracketing would have done a lot to make Iyanden more interesting. The Warlord Trade is fine depending on which Warlord you're running. If it's a big boy, it's obviously going to be good. If you're just running an Autarch or your regular old Farseer or a Spirit Seer, don't put this on them. There are better Warlord Trades, for sure. The Relic is okay. Also not that good. I would have wished that the bonuses were just great for both and that the additional attacks would have been more or amplified for Wraith Blades with swords. So for example, 2 additional or 3 additional attacks for swords, 1 additional attack for axes or something like that, differentiating a little bit. Because this way axes are just always going to be the preferred choice. And it sucks because Wraith Blades with swords look really, really cool. And the Guided Wraith Sight ability is just a lot of speculation. The Spirit Seer is obviously always going to be an evergreen unit for your Iyanden lists, just because he is great or has been great in the past with Wraith units. So we are going to have to wait and see how Spirit Mark exactly reads. But I can see this one being used once in a while, like once a game maybe, to buff up a Wraith unit and give it that critical buff it needs to kill or take down an enemy unit. Alright, I hope this was insightful. If you have any opinions on this one, drop it in the comments below and we'll discuss things there. Alright, thank you and I see you in the next one. Bye bye.